The way to deal with an anxious life is to simply exist. There are joys in life that we can enjoy simply because we are born. A cool breeze on a hot summer day, the sound of a child's laughter, a slice of delicious pizza, and conversations with loved ones are small happinesses that we can enjoy anytime if we just set our minds to it. Of course, if we become too engrossed in these fleeting moments of joy, there will be no change or growth. But it is also true that these feelings of happiness sustain our lives. This doesn't mean you should give up on stability and dreams. When you set goals and work hard to achieve them, you feel a great sense of accomplishment. However, it is these small joys that help us endure the despair of failing to achieve our goals. Still Alice is a work that calmly portrays the process of Alice Howland, a Harvard University psychology professor and renowned linguist, as she slowly loses her health, memory, and intellect due to early-onset Alzheimer's disease, despite having a life without any lack. A husband who is also a professor at the same university, a lawyer daughter, a doctor's son, and a youngest daughter dreaming of being an actress. Alice faces the risk of forgetting all her achievements, happy memories, and loved ones due to her illness. As she organizes the last things she wants to do, she says, "If the IVF treatment succeeds, I want to hold Anna's baby. I also want to see Lydia proudly on stage. I want to see Tom in love. I want to spend another sabbatical. I want to read as many books as I can before I lose my ability to read." Alice chuckled at her recent thoughts. There was nothing on her list of desires related to linguistics, lectures, or Harvard. Alice put the last bite of her ice cream cone into her mouth. She wanted to continue enjoying such warm and sunny spring days and ice cream in the future. Both a stable life and a life of achieving dreams are important. However, the fact that there are simple joys like an ice cream cone that you can enjoy without much effort brings peace. Even if you are anxious, have nothing, and are not doing anything great, the fact that everyone can enjoy the simple pleasures of being alive here and now might be the last line of defense that protects our lives in the midst of anxiety and chaos. When I reflect on it, I realize that the reason I could live my busy life every day at 40 without getting exhausted was because I didn't miss out on the small pleasures that exist in the world. After work, listening to my own stories that I chat about, the conversations with colleagues after lunch, the sunlight shining down on me during walks. These were the tiny moments hidden in my busy daily life. If I could go back to that time, I would want to find and fully enjoy such hidden happinesses. Our society has so far only emphasized stability, dreams, and achievements. But the world I will live in will constantly be hit by waves of change, and all plans and efforts may come to naught in the face of unforeseen crises. All the more reason not to miss the small joys of life close to us, the small happinesses we can enjoy just because we were born as human beings. When you are mentally shaken and distressed by the wind blowing over your head, perhaps a single flower blooming at your feet might soothe your heart. This is why you shouldn't have too many expectations in life. Do you remember that my great-uncle passed away last year? That day, I asked my brother-in-law how he felt about turning 80. He said, "Well, I don't have a special birthday. Every morning is my birthday." His answer gave me a greater resonance than any words from a great writer. Every morning, being able to wake up without any trouble, eat the food you want to eat deliciously, meet the people you want to see, and sleep without major worries. What could be better than that? From my brother-in-law's perspective, every day is full of happiness and gratitude. You, still young, might think that this is just something an old person at the end of their life would naturally say. But to me, knowing how my brother-in-law has lived, it sounded different. In the 1970s, when the construction boom in the Middle East was in full swing, my brother-in-law, an engineer, was dispatched to Iran. There, he was in a car accident that caused a severe injury, rupturing his liver. He was airlifted back to Korea, where he underwent several major surgeries and barely survived. Since then, he has lived with a tube in his neck. My brother-in-law said that after the accident, he had many thoughts. Why did this misfortune happen to me? How was he supposed to live with his young children still needing him? But at some point, he realized that such thoughts were what were actually dragging him into misery. Expecting to live a healthy, wealthy, and happy life as a given made reality feel shabby and lacking. He added one last thing: don't expect too much from life. That way, the present won't feel unfortunate. Maybe we expect too much from life, but as we live, we learn something. The world is not that grand, and life is not that special. There is no reason life has to be magnificent and glamorous. Rather, life is rough and filled with nothing. Regardless of whether we are talented or not, we are all on the way to death. If, in the meantime, we get to taste some popularity and enjoy our peak moments, that is enough. True growth happens when we accept this. Don't expect too much. To those looking for advice in finding their way to the clinic, this is also my advice on life. Life is not as grand as we imagine. Thinking that we must become extraordinary and that otherwise, we are worthless is like solving a problem with the wrong premise from the start. Even if reality seems bleak, life is not empty and meaningless. Recognizing limits, readjusting dreams, and viewing a world where beauty and ugliness coexist as it is, allows us to live as we please without being discouraged by reality. Achieving dreams means just that. Even though sticking to past methods incurs costs and hardships, as we live, we encounter turning points where life's direction changes. Like feeling someone nudging your back, it's a sign that it's time to change into new clothes because your old clothes no longer fit your body. Destruction is necessary for creation, and disintegration is necessary for new integration. As we pass through these turning points in life, we become better people. Unfortunately, we haven't properly learned or mastered the art of growth, so we fear starting anew and leaving behind past methods. Especially for those who have succeeded socially or who, in middle age, prioritize responsibility and duty, they strive to maintain the status quo, even in the face of pain. This is because, as painful as it may be, the current life is clear and predictable, whereas choosing change leads us into the uncertain and unknown realm full of life's uncertainties. So, how can we easily follow the call for change? Change, like a risky gamble, is perceived as risking past achievements. So, those who are afraid of losing what they have achieved, no matter how modest it may be, decide to maintain the current state of affairs. They develop various ways to ignore the gap between the drumming in their hearts and reality, and before they know it, they have adapted to this way of life. Regarding this state, American novelist John Updike once said, "Man is always devising subtle means of escaping from himself. We keep ourselves busy, fill our lives with various distractions, cram our heads with vast amounts of knowledge, and form relationships with countless people. We have plenty of time to roam around widely, but we never have time to explore the fearful yet wonderful world within us." So, when middle age comes, most people become skilled at fleeing from themselves. However, it's important to remember that maintaining the current state also comes with pain and costs. While outwardly enjoying a seemingly problem-free life, internally, one becomes desolate, dissatisfied, anxious, frustrated, and bored. There are frequent bouts of anger, sadness, sudden fear, and gradually, one becomes apathetic. It's the price paid for maintaining the present, a loss of vitality and energy in life. Growth pains are painful. The process of shaking off the familiar paradigm and reaching a new equilibrium is arduous. But when the time of confusion and pain ends, we are born anew. As the values we seek become clear, our worries diminish, and life becomes simpler. Satisfaction with oneself and energy levels increase. Laughing more and feeling happier naturally leads to improved relationships with others and a more generous attitude toward the world. Letting go of what we hold onto thinking will be left empty-handed, only to find new things emerging. Not only propels us forward, but also makes carefully following the drumming in our hearts a profitable endeavor. As we grow older, what we lose, according to Carl Jung, is the life we did not live through our parents. What we learn and adapt to as adults is the persona, or the mask of life. It's the socially accepted behavior and role we must perform to gain recognition from others and enjoy social status. People spend the first half of their lives, roughly until age 40, living the life of the persona to the fullest. They build families according to tradition, build careers, and strive to meet the demands of the world. In doing so, they bury talents, potential, and energy, which becomes their shadow. In short, everything we've suppressed and endured for the sake of maturity lies within the shadow. According to Jung, the shadow remains hidden for a while, but starts to reveal itself significantly around the age of 40 due to an imbalance of energy. At 40, the energy that fueled the life of the persona is almost depleted, while the energy of the suppressed shadow becomes immense and uncontrollable. The passage reflects on a life dedicated to fulfilling roles such as being a good child, a successful employee, a spouse, a son or daughter-in-law, and a parent. Despite giving their best to these roles, there's a lingering feeling of emptiness and a question about where their true selves have gone. Many have lived a life chasing what others value more than what they truly desire, leading to a sense of loneliness. The passage encourages introspection to understand the life one has lived and what they truly desire. Rather than just fulfilling the roles and responsibilities assigned by society, the focus should be on living without regrets, achieving what one truly wants, and concentrating on the days they want to live for. This requires courage to face suppressed desires and dreams, as these desires often hold the key to what one truly wants. It gives an example of a woman who, after realizing her suppressed desire to rebel against societal expectations, embarked on a path of self-discovery through art, eventually becoming an art instructor. She shifted from living as the good daughter her father wanted her to be to expressing her creativity, which she found to be a more fulfilling direction in life. The passage reflects on the introspection and self-discovery that comes with reaching middle age. It encourages embracing one's true self and facing hidden flaws and weaknesses. It suggests that by honestly examining one's shadow and integrating it into their identity, they can live a life that is true to themselves rather than conforming to societal expectations. This period of confusion and reevaluation is seen as a necessary and natural part of life, signaling a transition to a new stage where one can reassess priorities and grow. The author shares their own experience of facing a crisis in their late 30s, which led them to deeply reflect on what truly matters in life and let go of unimportant things. They view turning 40 as an opportunity to make a decisive change in life, which ultimately proves beneficial for their future. The passage concludes by encouraging readers to embrace their desires and ambitions, as understanding one's true desires leads to a more meaningful and resilient life.